We're joined now, Sans Tacos, by Kevin Hesser, Assistant Athletic Director and something else, and I never know your title.
Oh, that's it. Thank you.
That works.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Just keep it short and sweet, and we'll go.
All right, well, I'm glad to have you back. It's been a while. Your goatee's looking fantastic as ever.
Thank you.
And your head is just shiny and nice.
Yeah, well, these lights accentuate the shininess, but yeah, thank you.
That's why you come.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin. Well, some nice things going on in the USF athletic department. Well, first of all, let's talk about the men's soccer here a little bit. The athletic department was a big support and a big help, as Coach said, getting the men's soccer program into the Great Northwest Athletic Conference. As you guys came into the NSIC, you knew full well that there wasn't a men's soccer program or a men's soccer affiliation for that conference. So when you guys started to join the NSIC, did that come into play? Was that something you guys thought about and discussed and were trying to figure out what to do?
Yeah, with the NSIC, there's a number of schools that have club men's soccer programs, and the hope has always been that maybe someday the Northern Sun would start sponsoring men's soccer. But as we got deeper into it, that didn't seem like that was going to be something that was going to happen in the immediate future. And a few years prior to that, we had made a commitment to soccer by installing that field out there. It was the first FIFA-sanctioned artificial turf. We all know that by heart by now. But we made a commitment to soccer and really to try to grow that sport. And so we were kind of exploring the options. We talked to the MIAA. We looked at independent, and the GNAC kind of came calling, and we looked at it. At first blush, you think, gosh, that's going to be awfully expensive to be going out to the West Coast to play soccer in a conference schedule. But after evaluation and looking at it, it really wasn't more expensive than being independent and traveling, playing that independent schedule on the road, kind of what they're playing right now, going down to Colorado and Missouri weekend and the weekend. And so it became more of a viable option than I think anybody realized when we looked into it.
Well, the long fingers of USF, or the growing fingers of USF, are starting to spread a little bit. Was that something you guys took into consideration when you decided to make a play to join the GNAC? Was the thought process partly that it'd be nice to get out somewhere else in the country and have our name visible?
Yeah, that was one of the things that Coach Bennett had talked about was his ability to recruit in that area, and through this whole process we talked about taking a different look at recruiting. When we were with the GPAC, we were playing a lot of smaller schools and smaller towns. We're now with the Northern Sun. We're getting into Minneapolis. We're starting to see more students coming in from there. And now I expect the same thing to happen with us going west and playing the GNAC. There's going to be some more name recognition. We'll be able to go to, I think you guys have talked about it, in your interview with Coach, being able to sit with families there and saying, well, you will be going a long ways from home to play soccer, but you'll be making a few trips back on the university, giving you an opportunity to see your family. So it's a great opportunity, and we're excited to see what happens with it.
Well, I've never been accused of being a great prognosticator of NCAA Division II men's soccer recruiting, but I mean, it's hard to think that it won't have some real nice impact, not just for the soccer program, but for our university in general. I mean, we do have a little bit of a presence. The Iversons and some of those kids have come from out there. So it'll be, I'm excited for it. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and to be able to go into a conference and say, the number one team in the country is from the conference, and to go from saying, come to USF to play soccer, we're independent, we got to get in that large bid to get into the national tournament, and so on and so forth, to be able to say we're going to be playing the best competition in Division II, and we're going to be playing for conference championships. You have an opportunity to be a conference player of the year, all-conference team, all-academic conference. Just some of those individual accolades are something that they wouldn't have had otherwise. So.
Well, I just had a thought. And I think we should probably do a coach's show on location in Seattle with the men's soccer team at some point. So just something to think about. We don't have to hash out all the details now, but
that's a good idea.
For future,
we may have to try that.
Yeah. I'll also think of some other good locations.
I'm sure. Yeah,
I think we're going to the Bahamas at some point to play something.
You know, the basketball team's going to Las
They're going
Vegas.
to Vegas.
Yeah.
Send me to Vegas.
There you go.
Give me I won't go in there. I like blackjack. Well, Kevin, we also have some other nice things going on at USF. Some renovations going to be done to the Stewart Center and out at the Sanford Health Sports Complex. Going to add some locker rooms. Going to upgrade the locker rooms at the Stewart Center. Let's talk first about the football team getting their locker rooms finally underneath the stadium out at the Bob and getting rid of those god-awful trailers.
Well, the trailers are going to get a makeover too, but
they're going to stay there.
They'll stay on campus on that campus out there. But no, the football locker rooms are going to be moved to a more permanent location underneath the stadium. There's a big long hallway there that really has just been used for storage, and we're going to take advantage of that space. And then also, we're going to have a unique, I think it's unique, a senior locker room that'll be a little bit separate, a little bit more plush than
That's a great idea.
Yeah, than the general locker room. But you know, finally those guys will have a nice locker room, wood lockers, and then we'll have a permanent athletic training facility inside the bubble over there. And with new equipment, and we're definitely giving an upgrade to those facilities.
Whose brainchild was the senior locker room?
You know, that was a Coach Stugart thing. Nice. You know, he's a guy who thinks and dreams big, and he's got that salesmanship, you know, about him, and you really don't have to sell that idea. It's kind of a no-brainer when you think of it. It's a great opportunity to reward the students that have been here for 4 years and help grow the program.
You know, I think I still have some eligibility left. I could always be the backup punter. Man.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice for them. So will there be home and away locker rooms under there?
That's where we're going to put. I believe we're going to utilize one of those buildings that our football team has currently been using as a locker room, as a visitor locker room. Yeah.
Can we put a paint job on those?
Oh yeah. Okay. We're going to take care of those, and they'll look nicer. At some day we'll get rid of them, but just not quite yet.
Well, they work. They're functional. They are functional, and that's the most important thing. Kev, we were talking about the renovations being done out at the Bob for the football locker rooms. Going to be really awesome out there, I'm sure, when it's done. So we'll be excited to see that. But there's also going to be some renovations done at the Stewart Center.
Yeah, we are really. It's kind of locker room is the theme of our renovations that are upcoming here. And all of our Stewart Center sports, you know, men's and women's basketball and volleyball, will be getting renovated lockers. Just as soon as the basketball season's over is when we're going to start moving forward with those. Again, if you've ever been inside the Stewart Center locker rooms, there's not a whole lot to brag about. I mean, you don't take pictures of it. You don't take recruits in there. It's just you kind of keep it separate. But not for long. You know, we're going to redo all 4 of them. Men's basketball is moving into a larger locker room. Volleyball is going to be taken over. They're going to maintain their current locker room and then have another locker room, which will be kind of like their lounge, their player lounge type of thing, where they have their media, and play video games, whatever. And then the women's basketball program, who has the largest locker room right now, is going to maintain theirs and upgrade theirs. Everything from flooring, ceiling, the walls. I mean, everything's going to get an upgrade and new lockers for each. And it's just going to be the phrase that we keep throwing around is the wow factor.
Yeah.
We got to have a wow factor for recruiting these Division II student athletes, and we're going to make kind of our biggest eyesore right now into our wow factor and really make those nice.
Never underestimate the vanity of 18, 19, and 20-year-old kids. That's it. I mean, Oregon doesn't have their uniforms just for show.
No, and it's you always hear student athlete experience, and if you ever get a chance to go on YouTube, look up Nebraska's basketball's locker rooms or Oklahoma State's.
Yeah,
they're condos. I mean, they have kitchens, they have pool tables, lounge areas. You know, Nebraska's has TVs in the stalls, in the bathroom stalls. I mean, any little thing that you can make unique is something that is a selling point in your program, and we're really looking at our lockers as being one of those selling points for our basketball programs.
Well, I went out and I got a great opportunity when I was in high school and in my first couple years of college, where I got to go out and work at the University of North Carolina basketball camp for Coach Williams. And I remember walking into their locker room the first time I got to see it, and I was just like blown away. I mean, they all have these massive lockers that are their own with like 100 million pairs of shoes in it, and these nice leather reclining swivel chairs, and the showers are bigger than probably any of the locker rooms at the Stewart Center right now. So, but having that not only is nice for the recruiting factor, but for these players, I mean, they spend an inordinate amount of time in those places, and frankly, our football locker rooms were disgusting, and I'm sure even the new ones will probably get disgusting. But it's not much of a welcoming environment, and you do spend a lot of time there, and so it'll be a good thing.
Yeah, to think of all the practicing and the games that they play, but then also you want your team to hang out together too.
Right.
That's why they put the video games in there, so they can have an opportunity to get to know each other off the floor and really build that team chemistry that everybody talks about, and that the good teams have, and the good teams that aren't as athletic or aren't as talented as maybe other teams, but they just have something about them that makes it click, and that's kind of where a lot of that formulates.
Right.
In the locker room, hanging out, spending all that time together, just being comfortable in your surroundings and the people that you work with.
Well, you look at even how we took a tour of the Invesco Field at Mile High, and how they set up their locker rooms is something they put a lot of thought into. And in the home locker room, they have a big, kind of sweeping locker room where they can all see each other. In the visitors' locker rooms, they break them up so that they can't all sit near each other. That's the NFL and whatever, but it is nice. It's going to be great.
And don't the Jets paint theirs pink? Or there's some NFL team that paints their locker room like a light
the visitor
pink.
locker room?
Yeah. I think it was the Jets.
Probably.
Yeah.
That sounds like something Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, also in the Stewart Center, you're going to upgrade the training room.
Yeah, the athletic training room is going to get an upgrade too. We worked with the company to get our lockers, and they also did training room equipment, taping tables, all that furniture that goes in there. And since we were buying 160 lockers, it just made sense to leverage all that together and to make a big buy at once. And they're going to be a significant upgrade. No more tatters and tears on the corners of the pads and all that fun stuff.
See, that's where I spent all my time, was in the training room.
Yeah, and if you were to come back and use that last year of eligibility,
I tell you, I'd get a senior locker room, I'd get nice training room. Who knows what could happen?
Yeah.
Really launch a new chapter in my life. Something to talk about later. Kevin, as the spring sports starts to wrap up here, the last home basketball games are next week, I believe, and you're hosting an alumni night. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's something that we really haven't done a very good job of, to be honest with you, is engaging our alumni, and this year we've been trying to do a better job of it.
Right.
And we are hosting a basketball alumni night. We've invited all of our alumni, and we'll have over 50 basketball alumni, men's and women's, coming back for the game on Friday the 17th. And then them and their families will have a little reception over at Trey, and we're just really happy with the response that we've got.